cut corners? Or have you ever tried to cheat on an assignment in order to get a good grade while you were in school? Or have you ever gotten mad or disappointed when someone didn't reward you for helping them out? Now, all of these things that I just listed are things that a gentleman or a junzi was not meant to do. A gentleman, in the Confucian sense, is Confucius's idea of the ideal person, or a person who is very well-mannered and, as you will see, very centered in humaneness. And here in the Analects of Confucius 4.5, we are going to be looking at Confucius's standard for the gentleman, how he is meant to behave. And without further ado, let's get started. 4.5, the master said, "Wealth and eminence are what people desire. If you cannot acquire them by proper means, you should not accept them. Poverty and lowly position are what people despise. If you cannot avoid them by proper means, you should not reject them. If the gentleman forsakes humaneness, how can he be trustworthy of the name of gentleman? The gentleman does not abandon humaneness, not even for the duration of a meal. He holds on to it whether he is in a hurry or in a crisis." So although this verse or chapter is relatively long, it is also relatively simple. So let's break it down and start with the first sentence. "Wealth and eminence are what people desire. If you cannot acquire them by proper means, you should not accept them." So wealth and eminence are kind of like the symbols for success. And success is usually what most people want in life. But Confucius is saying that if you can't get this success or this wealth and popularity by proper means, bribery or deceit or corruption or cruelty, then the gentleman believes that that is not worth it. And then on to the second kind of, not sentence, but 2 sentences. "Poverty and lowly position are what people despise. If you cannot avoid them by proper means, you should not reject them." So I'm going to suppose that almost all of us don't like the feeling of failure or poverty or lowly position. But Confucius is saying that if you do wrong things to try to get out of that situation and abandon your moral conduct, then it's not worth it. And then, "If the gentleman forsakes humaneness, how can he be worthy of the name of gentleman?" So the gentleman's whole kind of identity is based on being humane. And so if a gentleman drops humanity or humaneness, then he can't even be called a gentleman anymore, because it doesn't matter what your rank is, because being a gentleman does not depend on rank. Instead, it depends on your character, and it just depends on your level of humanity. And so the gentleman does not abandon humaneness, and like we've talked about in 4.2, the gentleman lives in humaneness. Not even for the duration of a meal, so not even for an instant. He holds on to it whether he is in a hurry or in a crisis. Confucius is saying that what counts is constancy, and it matters little that you are humane when it's easy to be humane, but it matters everything when you are in a very bad situation and you're being humane. And so the gentleman lives by humaneness. He doesn't ever let it go. He doesn't use it for any selfish reasons or purpose. He lives in it because he realizes how good it is, and he just wants to do the right thing. And so to sum it all up, I guess normal person, or the little person. I don't know if we've covered that yet, but the direct opposite, I think we have, oh my gosh, but the direct opposite of a gentleman is a small person. It literally does translate to small person, but anyways, on the topic of wealth and success, the small person tries to seek these things whenever possible, while the gentleman will accept it only if it was gained rightly. And regarding failure, the small person would likely either complain or try anything to get out of it, even if maybe staying in it was the right thing to do, or the way of getting out was the wrong thing to do. And while the gentleman endures it if they were caused because of right conduct. And so Confucius' takeaway is that you should better suffer with virtue than try to prosper without it. And yeah, that'll be all today. And if you have any questions or comments or anything that you might want to share about, please feel free to ask me or tell me, and I will be more than happy to answer you. And have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!